All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Another campsite sessions. I'm here with Johnny Helton, and actually been meaning to do this for a long time, but I hate asking people to drive over, the hassle of it and time and all that stuff. But anyways, guys, we are up here. If you haven't listened to the last two, we're up here camping. We've been doing this our whole lives. How long have they been, honestly? It's way beyond our time.
They used to do it in August. And I was born in July of 76, and I was here when I was a month old. I've been here every year since.
And your dad and them, was it when they were little kids too?
Yeah, I think it started back sometime in the 50s.
The 50s.
Yeah.
So 70-year tradition.
Yeah.
Every single year. Come up here to our local mountains and go camping. So that's why I was calling it the campsite sessions. And so you obviously notice the background's a lot different. Got the creek running right here and kind of close to the meadows. So well, what we were wanting to get into and talk about is, I don't really want to say your credentials or what you've done, so I'll just let you do it. Like, what you born and raised hunting your whole life?
Yeah, well, I guess you'd say I'm a third generation, because four. I bet my great grandpa Jimmy got my grandpa into it.
Okay.
And my grandfather on my dad's side has never been a big game hunter.
Mm-hmm.
They were bird hunters.
Okay.
Quail and dove, grapplejack.
Mm-hmm.
He always liked that. But so Grapple Johnny got my dad into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Dad's been stringing me along since I was a little kid.
Mm.
I remember my first deer that I got to shoot. They were going at the time. They were going to Colorado every year, out of state. You got to be 14.
Mm.
And so I was like, I wanted to go so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad would say, no, you can't go yet, because he'd take me here back home.
Okay, but so you've been hunting?
Yeah, here.
Mm-hmm.
But so I was 11 years old, and right on the age where you start taking, I can start keeping up and stuff. And it was another, all the guys were going, and I remember plain as day. He was out the front porch and hugging Mom goodbye, and I ran around the side of the house and I got in the back of the car.
Oh, you did?
And I remember them looking over and looking at me, and they started whispering or talking to each other, and they started laughing. And Dad walked out and said, "Go, Mom's packing your stuff. Go get what you need."
Wow.
And so I was 11, and we went up there. Dad had an elk and a deer tag, and he let me shoot his buck.
Oh, really?
So I shot a 4-point buck that year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
11 years old.
Yeah.
And that was out of state, right?
Yeah, Colorado.
Colorado. Okay.
Yeah.
Were you there when, remember that picture? I'm pretty sure you were there. It was little Barney, me, my dad. Who else was there? Brother David, Brother Hilton. Were you on that one specifically? Or do you not remember me being, if you don't remember me, I guess you probably weren't on that trip. I don't know if your dad was there.
I don't believe you were there your dad was there. I don't remember.
Because little Barney was...
Stephen Taylor was there. He shot a big buck.
Yes.
Okay, you were little.
Little. Yeah, I was very little.
I was 14 that year.
And you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Were you in that picture? I think you were.
I probably
you were.
Yeah.
It was me, you, little Barney. I'll have to show you that picture. I was probably
I don't remember seeing that.
So how old were you, 14?
I was 14.
So what are you right now?
8, I've been 90.
That would have been 19. I was 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my dad's been dragging me around too.
Yeah, a long time.
But anyways, I kind of wanted to get in, and I'm sure there's some of you out there listening right now that are interested in, like, how do you get into that, to guiding? So you're a guide. Where do you have your guide license at?
I guided in Alaska and Wyoming.
But you could guide. I guess you can guide it anywhere.
Yeah,
it don't work that way.
Any state, they could call me. Somebody could call me. You just got to take a state guide exam.
Okay.
And
for each state.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and most states, they're all different. Alaska's got a lot more to it because for some reason to get a license there, to get your first license, you got to have spent 60 days in Alaska in 2 separate years as a packer and following along another guide. Basically, training wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no matter what, you could spend 60 days in Alaska the first year, but it has to be between 2 years.
You have to do 2 consecutive years. You don't have to have 60 days each year, but you're supposed to have 30 days per year.
Okay.
For 2 consecutive years. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then you go take an exam or what?
No. I read they're going to be changing it, but all I did was the guide I worked for, the outfitter, he just signed a piece of paper, said yes, he spent his time here. He's good to go.
Like a journeyman, and you're an apprentice, and you just do the whole process.
Yep.
So it's all by someone else saying you did it.
Exactly.
Because how else would you say I really did that?
Yeah. You have to do a background check and fingerprinted and all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Saying you haven't been in trouble, but your outfitter's the one who says, yeah, they're qualified.
Okay. So let's go into the process of how'd that all come about? You born and raised your whole life, grown in. By the way, we've known each other, friends, our whole lives.
Yep.
Me and Johnny. You were born and raised in the church that your grandpa pastors and has pastored for forever. And so we came when I was 5 and started coming there, and I'm 38 now, so that's quite a long time myself there. But like you said, the background of you hunting stuff. So you've been hunting your whole life, and what happened? What was the process of you starting to get into guiding? How'd that all start and come about?
I don't know. You know, some things you can want, and so bad you make it happen, even though you don't know nobody else that does it. Like you with your helicopter.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody.
You didn't know nobody.
No.
But you wanted it, and you went after it. I had always wanted to be a guide, but I'd never met anybody who was a guide because I'd never been on a guided trip. So I never met a guide.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know the process, and unlike you, I didn't follow through to figure out how do you do it. It's just something I wanted to do.
At a younger age.
Yeah, at a younger age.
Because you did it, but.
Yeah, because I was 30 before I started guiding.
Okay. That's still pretty young looking back now, I'm sure, to you, right?
Yeah, it is. It's 16 years.
Yeah.
But anyways, me and Barney, the way I got into it, me and Barney booked our own Dall sheep hunt in Alaska. And so we went on this Dall sheep hunt, and we got there. You know, you have all these thoughts of how it's going to work. Well, it didn't work nothing like what we thought. After a couple of days, we got separated. He went his way with his guide, and me with mine. He killed a nice ram in like the 6th day, I think, or 7th day. I ended up staying there for 13, 14 days, something like that, hunting. Never got a ram.
Really?
Yeah.
Never got nothing that first trip.
And we absolutely, walked our butts off. And so we paid on this hunt for a couple of years.
Right.
That's all I could think about.
The money?
It wasn't not getting the ram.
Yeah.
It wasn't, oh man, I didn't work hard enough. It wasn't none of that. It was like, what could I did with this money? I just blew this money. And I didn't even let myself enjoy it like I should have because I was down about how much money I'd spent. At the time, it was $9,500. And that's all I could think about. And after, I got home, I started reliving the hunt. And I realized how much fun it was, and that's all I could think about. But I knew I'd never go again. The next year after the draws came out, I didn't put in for them. I didn't do nothing. The outfitter called me. He said, "Hey, you drew a tag, another sheep tag." I said, "I didn't put in." He says, "I know, I put you in." And he said, "And you got lucky enough. You draw one, the Chugach Range of Alaska, which is hard to draw." So he we talking back and forth, and I told him, I said, "Bill, there's no way I can't afford it again this year." He said, "Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out down the road. You get up here and hunt." And I did. I went up there and hunted. And while I was there, I killed a ram at that time. And while I was there, he asked me if I wanted to come back the next year and start being a packer for him. So that's how I got into it.
And that was Bill, which is no longer.
I no longer. I work for him occasionally.
Oh, so he is still.
He's semi-retired. He does other things now, but the guy I work for full time, Cash, who's Vast Alaska, he started with Bill Stevenson also.
Okay.
So we're all out of the same tree.
Huh.
Yeah.
Now, did he start before or after you, Cash?
Oh, before.
Yeah, he'd been with Bill for a long time.
He had been with Bill for I think 5 or 6 years before I got there.
Okay. And now, why did Bill ask you that? Did he ask you because you were a hard worker, you hunted hard, you were smart, you knew the outdoors, or did he ask you because you had been mentioning to him?
I'd never mentioned it to him.
Did you think it?
Oh yeah, I thought, man, this would be awesome, but you don't think you could actually.
You never said nothing to him.
No. What happened now that I've been in it a long time, when you see somebody who, when you hunt, when I have a client that comes with me, and you don't have to worry about him, he does everything, he stays right with you. He knows how to hunt. He could go do it himself, but you have to have a guide on paper.
For everything, or just sheep and grizzly?
It's sheep, grizzly, and mountain goat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you see those guys that are that kind of guy,
I'll go back and mention it to the outfitters. Hey, this guy, he could be a guide. And that's the way, it gets around. Because I didn't hunt with Bill. I hunted with one of his guides.
And I bet you it's very few and far between.
Oh, yeah. In all the time I've hunted in Alaska, I won't give no names, but I would say maybe 3 hunters.
Wow.
And I've successfully guided over like 50 animals now in Alaska.
Wow.
Between bears and sheep and moose and goat. So.
And 3 out of about 50 some could
yeah, they.
Well, I can't imagine.
I didn't have to be there. They could 100% did it on their own. But most people that book hunts, they're there for people to do it for them.
Yeah.
I mean, physically they do okay, but if you put them out there by themselves, they couldn't.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it.
Yeah. And is that just because they don't have the experience as far as like how to load and how to pack and all that, or is it more just finding the animals?
It's a little of everything. you get hunters who could do one thing, but couldn't find nothing in the glass if they had to,
Even when you tell them it's right there.
Yeah, a lot of times you see this more in Alaska. The sheep, they just stick out on the mountain. When you find a sheep, that you see them. But when we hunt in Wyoming and you're hunting in trees and you're trying to pick things out, it seems like you can spend half your day with your clients. Oh no, come down.
Really?
Come down 3 rocks. 2 trees to the left,
And it's still
no.
I will say that's not always because you guys I seen an ear twitch or I seen an antler.
Yeah.
What are you? I'm just curious for your method when you're looking at a hillside. What's your thoughts of it's probably just natural now, but what's your thought process looking to find something?
That it is natural now. You automatically go to where their deer should be. But when I try to tell a client, like in Alaska, in Wyoming, which is more to do with the binoculars, trying to pick things out. Find your clearings first on the side of a mountain.
Okay.
Look at the clearings. Do a quick view of all the clearings.
Right out the gate. Just do that.
First thing, yeah.
Okay.
Pick the obvious places where deer would be out in the open. And then when you're done with that, then you start finding smaller pockets inside the trees, and you go through that.
Okay.
So you just narrow it down.
And then if you do that scan, there's nothing. Then what?
Then you start picking.
Looking for
bedded animals. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But early in the morning, the first hour of daylight, you're gonna find them either moving or feeding or something.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know if I had that level right. So, I guess if you hunt enough, mornings, evenings, but what do you do throughout the rest of the day? Is it nap time, or is it like you constantly just pick up every once in a while?
You can pick up deer in that. Usually the deer and elk, sometime in the middle of the day between 12 and 2, they're going to get up and readjust. They'll nibble for 5-10 minutes and find another bed because the sun will change position and get on them.
Yeah, and they'll move them. So they are going to move.
They move
throughout the day.
They may only move 10 yards, but they will move.
And that's all you need, is to catch them.
If you're looking at the right place at the right time.
That's
because it can be seconds.
Yeah.
You could have a clearing there, you glass it, and you go to another spot. Well, they might walk through that clearing.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That quick.
You didn't see them.
Huh.
So I'm sure I miss way more than I see.
Yeah. You can only imagine probably.
Yeah.
And isn't it where you're hunting is pretty dense? Like
up there it is.
Some spots.
Yeah. A lot of pine, thick pine, thick brush.
So it's hard glassing then.
It is. Once they get in there, some people can pick it apart better than me. I don't. I'm better in mornings and evenings.
Yeah. When they're moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you started in Alaska. That was where you started guiding first? Or was it Wyoming?
No, it was Alaska.
It was Alaska.
And so I told it's a lot of things. It's people you meet.
Uh-huh.
So I was in Alaska, and this guy, Britton Russell, a good friend of mine now, he come up. He was wanting to start guiding in Alaska, so he come up as a packer like I started out.
Mm-hmm.
So he was my packer. Got to know him. We hit it off right off the start. And then he started telling me, man, I guide in Wyoming right now. And I said, you're kidding. I said, that's what I always wanted to do when I was a kid. And for elk and deer. And he said, well, when I get back, he said, I'll talk to the outfitter. I said, right on. So I actually got home that year. I was home for about a week from Alaska. And Rob Wiley called me, the non-typical outfitters. Said, hey, I'm Rob Wiley. I didn't know. I never heard of him. My brother knew him. I didn't. And he told me, he's an outfitter. He says, Britton said you'd like to guide, and he says he thinks you can do it. He says, would you be interested? I said, yeah, I'd be interested. And he said, well, can you be here in like a week? He said, I need 2 hunts.
When was, like, what month was this?
That would have been September. I remember I went the last deer hunt, so that'd been like right around that probably started the 1st of October.
Okay. So what hunt were you doing in Alaska that you had just got home from?
I believe I just got done with a moose hunt.
Oh, cool. Which that's kind of one of my.
Yeah.
A grizzly and a moose is like the epitome I've wanted to do since a kid. Which financially, I'm like, I could probably do a moose hunt one day, but I don't know about a grizzly. But
yeah.
So he said, can you be in here in a week?
I said, oh, I just got back. Let me talk to my wife. And so I talked to Heather, and she said, sure, go do it. It's what you want to do. And so I went up there and I did a deer hunt and an elk hunt.
As a packer or a guide?
No. I got up there and I went out with Rob Wiley the first day. You start 2 hours before daylight. So we saddled the horses, got on the horses, and I followed him and the hunter. We rode for like 2.5 hours, and we got to this spot and got daylight, and we hunted that day. Didn't really see nothing much. Stayed out there to after dark. We come back in the dark. In a place I've never been in my life. And the next that evening, he said, "All right." He said, "You want to take him tomorrow?" I was like, "Okay." So I'm thinking, if this guy knew that I've never been here, this ain't gonna go good.
Yeah.
If you paid for a hunt.
Yeah. Well, the actual, what would you call it, client, he was with you when Rob asked you that?
Well, no, Rob asked me in
But
private.
the guy knew you were...
Yeah, he knew I just got
So he
there.
was probably thinking, here goes my...
Yeah. So the next
Which
day...
is no on you, but I mean, right? That's how we'd all feel kind of.
Same thing. Rob knew after that first day that I knew how to hunt.
Yeah, exactly.
So he said he had faith in me already. But so we hunted for the next 3 days. We got on a couple of nice bucks. Couldn't get it done. And the evening of the last hunt, it was the last hunt of the year. So they do 4 deer hunts, and that was the last one of the year. And this was the last day of the hunt. And they've been hunting a deer all year long, I guess, through the first 3 hunts. And nobody had ever seen it during the season, once the season started. And it happened to step out when I was there, and my guy shot it. It was like a 185 buck. It was a really nice 4-point.
Oh, my goodness. That guy was probably stoked.
Oh, yeah.
And then Rob's probably, I don't know Rob, but he's probably not the kind of guy that just goes on and on. He probably was just like...
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, good job.
That's all he said.
Yeah. But he knew, but at the same time, he would have never let you go do that if you weren't capable.
And that's nice to hear, but I don't got to hear it anyways.
Yeah, right. No, you don't. Because you did what you're supposed to do, and that's it. So that was your very first... Oh, no, I'm sorry. So you were in Alaska. How long were you in Alaska as an actual guide before you were...
I think only 2 years.
2 seasons.
Yeah, and then I met Britton.
Well, so the first year you had to do 2 years as a packer.
Mm.
Then you were 2 years as a guide in Alaska, so that's 4 years. And then that year is when you went to Wyoming.
My first year with my own license in Alaska was 2010.
Okay.
So 10 and 11, and I think I started in 12 in Wyoming.
And then you've been there ever since.
Yeah. I didn't guide last year or this year. I ain't going to guide there this year.
Oh, really? In Wyoming?
Mm-hmm.
And what, just because you got some tags and stuff or something? Is that why kind of?
My kids have gotten older and started drawing their own tags, so I've always made sure that becomes preference. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
it's in the same time.
Now you're still going to go to Alaska.
I am,
and that's
before.
And now, what would you rather do if you had to pick? If you had to,
they're equally as there's nothing as rewarding as a sheep hunt to me, because you put so much time and effort, and the whole time you're like, I'll never do another one. I'll never do another one.
Do you really?
Yeah.
And you every time you do it, you feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
No, I've got where
if you're saying that, I'd be dying.
I've got where I've started enjoying the experience more because I know I ain't gonna be doing a whole lot more. Yeah. So I try to enjoy this from start to finish. Mm-hmm. But there's been times I'm like, if I get off this mountain and get back, I ain't never doing another one. But as soon as you get home, you forget about it.
Of course. I haven't forgot about San Joaquin though.
Oh.
Now if there was a buck like there, that's what changes it, right? Like what if there's something down there that's worth.
There's nothing down there I want to go see.
Right, yeah. So, I guess another tough question on top of that. So I said Wyoming or Alaska. Let me ask you this. Or I guess you kind of answered. You said, did you say sheep?
Sheep is the most rewarding.
It's the most work, but it's the most rewarding.
Into it.
Okay.
Now, I would say this. Of all the animals I hunt, I think it's whatever's in the season.
It comes down to that, huh?
Duck hunting time and everything else, I'd rather be duck hunting.
Yeah.
It's deer season. I want to be deer hunting.
Yeah.
It's whatever season it is.
Yeah, that's true.
I love it all.
Yeah. Because to be honest with you, when turkey season rolls around, I'm not a big turkey hunting guy, but what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I might as well go. And this year's I actually didn't get to turkey hunt this year, but there was a lot of stuff going with work.
I didn't go this year.
You didn't either?
No.
Okay.
Kids all got turkeys, but I didn't go.
And they slayed this year. All of them. Every one of them were. Did Jack bag out?
Most of the kids bagged out.
Yeah. Jack did, huh?
Teenies.
Or Jack got 2?
Jack got 2.
2, and Olivia
just 1.
1. Okay. She didn't go probably as much.
No, I didn't take them. It's only if somebody else took them this year. I never got.
Oh, yeah, because of your job and stuff. So, like, so let's say, I guess anybody listening to this that's interested in being a guide has a little of an upper hand because you're telling them little bits and pieces how you could.
Yeah.
They don't know anybody personally, but at least there'd be a little bit of a heads up. So what would you suggest to somebody that would want to get into it? Do they just call around different outfits trying to say, hey, can I be your packer? Or like,
I know this. I don't think you would have to be, you don't have to have a lot of experience, but if you have the want to, and you show that to the outfitter, that hey, I'm willing to learn whatever I don't know because I don't know everything. Will you give me a chance? And I think they'll give you chances.
Mm-hmm. And then just prove yourself.
Yeah.
Out there.
Just contact outfitters.
Mm-hmm. And there's always got to be
honest. Because a couple of years for non-typical, I was trying to recruit guides. And you could when you get these resume things, I've done all this. And when you start talking to them, you know they're lying.
Right.
Be honest. If you don't know nothing, tell me. That's fine.
I don't know nothing.
We can work with that.
But I'll be a hard worker.
Yeah.
Because that takes hard work. From what I've heard you guys all...
it's all hard work. Yeah. Even you're off a horseback in Wyoming, but you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning saddling horses. Mm-hmm. You get in at 9 o'clock.
At
night, unsaddle horses, feed them, jump in bed, you get 4 hours of sleep, and you're back doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's all hard work.
Yeah.
But it's all, you got to love it. You have to love it.
Can a guy make a decent living off guiding only?
No.
No matter how much you guide?
If you was a single guy and didn't have a family and you hunt all seasons all around everywhere.
Turkey, just everything, waterfowl.
Yes, you could make a good living.
Yeah. Then you never see your family.
As a family man, no. The most I've hunted up to 3 months out of a year. I did that, for a long time. And I make good money during that time. But, what about the other 9 months out of the year?
Right.
You have to get a real job.
Yeah, you can't
Luckily, I've been self-employed and got to do what I want to do.
That's really worked. Back to the hard work thing or the lying thing, just for a characteristic tip, I guess, or something. It's like, same thing with pilots. Like, so pilot, I know a lot of helicopter pilots, airplane pilots, people over the years. And what people will do is they'll write, all pilots have a logbook and they'll write in there, I have this many hours. Well, no one's confirming that, right?
Okay.
So you guys are what we call pencil whipping all the time, putting stuff in there. But you can do that all you want. But the moment you lift that helicopter off the deck, you know right then and there that's all eyes. You know, and so, you know, to give advice if you're young on here listening, you know, it just doesn't pay. It doesn't get you. You're never gonna pull the wool over anybody's eyes because at some point it's gonna come back and bite you.
The only people you'll pull a wool over is people who know nothing.
Yeah, zero.
Seasoned people like yourself in helicopters, you know instantly.
Yeah, instantly.
Oh, they're lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so what has been one of your greatest? So I know I should have prefaced that for you yesterday, so you could have all night to think about it. Well, okay, let's do your top two, and then, you know, while you're talking of one, you'll remember another one. So
no, it just jumps from one to one.
It does.
Memorable for. I've been on some great hunts.
Something that meant the most to you, and I kind of think in the back of my head I probably know what it is, but maybe. We'll see.
The one that means the most to me is probably my grandfather.
Yeah.
You know, guiding him to, me and my brother got to go with him on a sheep hunt at 80 years old. How old?
I thought he told me he was 82.
81, something like
that. Was he 81? Okay. So listen, did you guys hear that? He said 81, and actually we talked about it a little bit when he came on the podcast.
Okay, yeah.
And that wasn't not long ago, actually, but you just heard him say, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can see that Johnny's no fat slob. He's in shape. I mean, he may not feel right now, but at different times of the year.
I got my veneer on. Normally, I'm a solid muscle. You know?
But you know what I mean? Like you just... He's not 300-pound guy trying to hike up. Because what elevation are you at most of the time?
The sheep hunt ain't that bad. It's usually you're gonna be killing your sheep around 6 to 7.
Okay, then, but it's straight up and down.
It's like this with rocks.
Yes. Shell? Is it shell?
Most of it's shell.
Or you're slipping every step.
You never got a solid footing.
Yeah.
So for an old person,
81 years old.
Yeah.
That's hard for an 18-year-old.
Right.
Tom told me how hard it is. You know.
Yeah.
But so I just want everybody to remember how hard that is, and he's 81. So
so me and my brother got him in there, and it worked. It was meant to be because we just figured once Grapple got in there, seeing how tired he was, you know, how hard it was on him.
You didn't think
he's got one shot at it.
Yeah,
and it just we started up this canyon where I thought he was, and we walked up in there. Probably about, I'd say we went up there in there 2 miles probably. And then I spotted him, and he was down low on the mountain. You know, they're a lot of times they're up high. He was down low, bedded on a little perch. And
he was a nice ram too.
Yeah, he's a 40-inch ram, which is huge.
That's over a full curl?
Yeah, well, they can be a full curl at, say, 34,
okay, I don't
35.
know that.
It's, however... A lot of rams will come down low, so their curl's bigger.
Oh, so you just take the soft tape and
you go from the.
So it really doesn't matter if it makes a tight curl. It could be way smaller,
yes.
Right? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you can. I've seen 32-inch full curls.
Oh, okay.
And then I've shot rams that are 39, not full curls.
But they're looping big.
They're looping big.
Okay.
Yeah. But his was a 40-inch, and it was over. It was probably this much over full curl. You know,
wow.
Nice
and
twisty.
Big, yeah.
Yeah. But we got him up to 400 yards. I set his turret for his gun, put it on the pack. He just basically just rolled in there. It took about 10 seconds or so, and boom. And that thing just fell over. Boom. Just rolled down the hill. It was dead. And he still had the grass in its mouth. It was sitting there chewing its cud, you know?
No way.
Yeah.
And so we all know, because we've heard our whole lives, how, you know, it's a good shot.
Yeah.
It's a crack shot. So how did he feel? Like, where did he hit him at? Was it not really? I shouldn't ask that question.
No.
He told me, I think, but I can't remember. Was it a spine?
He was aiming for a hard shot.
Right.
And he probably shot that much high above it.
Which is nothing.
He rolled over, and, you know, we all saw it was rolled. And he rolled over and said, well, I should put it right there, tucked it right there. He said, the hole should be right there. And it was like that far above it.
But 1 inch off.
Yeah.
Wow. Did he shoot a bunch before you guys went on that trip?
No.
He just knows how to breathe and how to squeeze. And
once you got trigger control, you've shot your whole life. I mean, everybody needs to practice. Don't get me wrong. Don't take me wrong on that. You need to practice.
Yeah.
But really, once you learn how to do it, it don't go away.
It doesn't. You just know the process. Yeah. So, what do you think that is? And I know you're the guy and you're still active, so you want to be careful. But what is that with guys that come in, have the big bad stuff, and have everything? And is it just because they've never been taught properly, or is it just because they've what's the biggest reason guys are missing so bad sometimes when they come there?
It's 100% is not controlling your feelings,
emotions.
I'm gonna throw him out here, Travis McDonald.
Oh, go for it.
We love him.
Yeah,
everybody loves him.
He's a psycho
when it comes to the moment. His emotions get so high.
Yeah,
he don't control. He cannot control it.
He can't do it.
And I love that.
Yeah,
I do. I love that.
It's exciting.
If you're got where you just
don't care,
it's over.
Right.
And I've seen people that can do that.
Yeah.
It's just there's another one I'm gonna put on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the fun of it. I love hunting with people who get excited when they're done. They're crying or they're jumping up and down. They miss and then they hit it on the next shot. Yeah. Something like that, you know?
Yeah. Now, are you still involved in that shooting school? Or is that kind of...
I haven't. They do it. They're doing a bunch this year.
Really?
Jacob's handling that.
Is he?
My nephew, yeah.
Well, how does someone go to something like that?
You go to Non-Typical Outfitters website, and I think it's either $2,200 or something, and it's a 3-day course. It's a mountain course. So you're hiking up and down mountains, shooting downhill, uphill, way across canyons, different elevations. It's good for people who hasn't got to shoot a lot.
That sounds like a blast.
I was skeptical.
Really?
When, shooting, well, I know how to shoot. And when I went there and helped out and did the course, I had a totally different view of it, yeah. It's good. It really is.
It's kind of funny because the military, when I went into the military and we were shooting, I'm like, I'm going to ace this thing. It's no problem. Which it was, for me, it was semi-easy.
Yeah.
But there was things they taught me. So it's like, why do we sometimes get the mindset like, I've got it mastered?
Yeah.
Because we'll learn till the day we die.
You can never know everything.
Never. It's impossible.
I know a little bit about some stuff, but I ain't a master of nothing.
No.
So if I can not just shut my mind off to it, you can always learn.
Yeah. There's some neat things taught. So the grizzly bear hunting, I've had Barney on, talked with him about this too, but again, that being one of my top things I've dreamed of doing. What were you on that one with Brother Beckett? Was that you?
That was me, yeah.
That was you and him?
Yeah.
Just you and him?
Yeah.
Can you tell that story? Because that's an exciting guy right there.
He's another Travis McDonald.
Okay.
I've seen him.
He's that bad, huh?
Oh, yeah. He just goes beside himself. He's a good shot. But he's in the moment, man. He's like amped up. And I got video of that hunt.
You do?
Yeah, you need to watch
it. Is that on YouTube or do you just saved it?
No, but it's a pretty good video.
Okay. His daughter's Olivia Helton. We've had her on the podcast, and she has her own channel too. It's still Olivia Helton, right?
Olivia. She's Charles. Still trying to think of a name.
Yeah. I told her, I go, you know what? I think you told her the same thing. Just leave it.
Leave it.
Because a girl's name, it's more noticeable, and it's a cool name. So, but if you haven't listened to her, you can go check that one out. But she has a channel. She does all kinds of stuff, deer hunts, duck hunts, all kinds of stuff. But this is her dad, just in case anybody see the connection there. But anyways, back to Brother Beckett. And we miss him. He passed away.
Yeah.
What year was that?
He passed away about 6 years ago.
Yeah. So he was great preacher, great, amazing preacher, and great person. Just
great
blast
man
to be around. But anyways, you guys went on that.
Yeah, his dream hunt was a brown bear.
It was a brown bear.
Yeah.
In Alaska.
And I got in there and started guiding, and the outfitter I worked for he made it happen for him.
Okay.
But anyways, he got to come up there. It was our first clients had done rolled through. I guided 3 brown bears already that season.
Wow.
They were just like 2-day hunts, and they were done.
Wow. Which is not normal, right?
No, usually. Now the way they've set it up, they've shortened it to 15 days.
Okay.
So usually you only get 1 client.
Oh, wow.
So
what it used to be?
You were guaranteed you're going to have 2 clients.
But how many days was it?
21.
Okay.
What it is, 10-day hunts. Now you can't.
So how are you on 3 guys plus?
Because he'd have extra people showing up.
And
knew,
you're knocking it out.
He knew when he had 10 guides that somebody's going to get done early.
I got you.
And I was happening to keep getting done early, so he just kept giving them to me. But anyways, he got to come up there, and little did we know that just a few years later he would die.
I bet you're so glad you got to have that chance.
I'm glad I got that video of him, but he had the time of his life. Scoped himself. We shot it. He shot a pretty far shot, and but it was getting down to one of the last days, and we had this big tidal river that we had to cross. Mm-hmm. So at certain times of the day, it'd be down low, and then it'd get up to like 12 feet because it had about a 9-foot tidal at the time.
Whoa.
So when it got down to its lowest, we'd watched this bear for I think 2 days in a row. Same spot, come out, eat stuff off the edge of the ocean there. And I said, hey, we got to go for it. So we're going to be stuck over there tonight after we shoot it. So this is it. Let's do it. And he was gung-ho. So we crossed up about to our waist and got over there. And he had diabetes. I mean, all of a sudden.
Was he not doing good at that time?
He was already sick.
Oh, he was?
We didn't know he had cancer.
Right.
And he probably did at that time. Just a few years later he died from it. But he was, John, I'm freezing. We got to get in the sleeping bag, before this. And we'd go back to the tent. And boots, everything, just get in his sleeping bag.
In the bag.
In the bag. It was filthy. Absolutely filthy. Just until he'd lay in there for a couple hours and he'd be warm. I'd turn the cook stove on, get him warm as I could, cook him something to eat. But anyways, we crossed that, got over there, and we shot that bear. And it spun, ran up in the brush. And so we had to do a big, around the tide, fall on the edge of the tides. Got over there and we walked up to where he shot it, and there was blood. So we started following it. Right before we I seen the bear jump up, and we were both ready.
Okay.
We were expecting it. And I mean, it was just, I think I shot 3 times. He shot 3 times. Because it's in the brush. I don't even know how many times we hit it.
Right.
But it just fell down after a bit. It fell several times because we was hitting it pretty good. But.
What guns were you guys using?
I had a 375, and he's always hunting with a 378 Weatherby.
378
Yeah, which shooting way harder than 375 in my opinion. So.
Huh. A 378 is?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what he was?
That's what he always is hunted with.
That's a big old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a big gun.
Huh. This is going to be a stupid question. Nobody uses 50. You can't leave.
No, you know what? I think I've seen a video of someone using it.
Is that legal? Or, I mean, is that?
I don't know.
I don't know. That was kind of a dumb question. I don't know. Because as big as a 378 is, that's pretty massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big bullet, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a 300 look small.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But the casing's so much bigger and it's shooting a heavier bullet.
All that powder. Yeah. What's your Brother Hilton, your grandpa used?
We all shoot a 378.
33.
It's a 300 basically bullet because we're shooting a 200 grain bullet, but the casing's another half again as big almost. We're shooting way more powder. So we're shooting at 3,300 feet per second a 200 grain bullet.
Wow.
So
I didn't realize it was that fast.
Yeah, it's fast.
My goodness. Now, how are you with, because technology and stuff and practice and all that good stuff, some people have the concept, get as close as you can, which I'm sure you feel the same way too. We all do, right? Like if you can do it, do it.
All right.
If you can't, what's your thoughts on distances, like people shooting, because I know you guys, I don't know who, but like I'm sure some of you have 800 yards or more maybe. What's your thoughts to people that, where are you at on that?
I'm in between.
Okay.
There's times when I've had hunters who don't shoot over 300 or 400.
That's just their rule.
That's their rule, and their gun really ain't capable because it's just everything's stock on it, and they don't know how to shoot it past that. So he's like, man, I wish they had a dial on there or something. And I've seen hunters who they're wanting to shoot at 1,000. Just to say they did it.
Yeah. Instead of out of necessity.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that either, I guess.
Because when I'm watching a hunting video, and you see it all the time now, and the animal, the first thing they do, 782 yards, they jump up and they start hollering. Instead of the animal, all they want to talk about is the distance.
Yeah.
And, it's awesome because I've been in situations where you ain't getting no closer. And if someone has that capability, then it's awesome to have.
Yeah. But to be the focus of...
It seems like that's the focus of a lot of it.
Which means even worse than just... Because some people just focus on the kill itself instead of the whole experience.
Yeah.
And that's what you were saying earlier is it's the whole thing that makes me enjoy it.
What I've learned how to do, and I have the last several years, the walk in, everything, just try to slow down my thoughts and enjoy everything. Say, hey, I don't know how many more times I'll get to come back here.
Yeah.
I did a hunt. I think it was the first year Talon went with me. And we went 18 miles for a sheep hunt.
18 miles in.
18 miles in. And I got Giardia on the way in.
Oh.
And hit the night before season, because we went in 2 days early. And I was just drinking out of the creeks. I always have. I just thought, well, I'm immune to that.
Alaska or Wyoming?
Alaska.
Okay. Which should be purest?
It was coming right out of the mountain. And I was like, I've always did it for 10 plus years, and I just thought, I don't catch it. Well, I did. And the night before I noticed, man, my belly's getting messed up. The next morning, I had fevers throughout the night. Next morning was open, and we went back in there. And luckily, I think it was the Lord helping me out on that one, because we killed one open.
Wow.
Just like that. Had it done by, quartered up.
And you're messed up right now.
I'm already feeling it bad, yeah. Mm-hmm. So we totally took care of the sheep, skinned it out, deboned it, all that up there on the mountain, packed it up, started back, and I told him, so we need to get down. Let's get off this mountain tonight. That way we're off this steep spot. Because I told him, I said, I got something going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not feeling well. So we went down to the bottom, and that night we was cooking up sheep.
Mm-hmm. Is that good?
Oh, it's amazing.
Is it really?
And I always bring seasonings with me,
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't even want it.
You couldn't even eat.
It was already started. Whatever I ate or drank, it was coming up within under 5 minutes.
You're throwing up. So you're throwing up in like diarrhea?
Diarrhea.
But as soon as you would eat, it would just spread through you.
5 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
It was coming out.
Even like a drink of water.
A drink of water. And so I said, the next morning, I said, we got to get out of here. And we cut the distance. I think we were down to 9 or 10 miles for the next day. But next morning, I was already dehydrated. And, we had 90, 100-pound packs. We crossed the river, and I said, let's go. So you guys just take off. I said, it was a good trail. It's a well-used trail. And I stayed with them for a little while, and I kept having to stop and run in the bushes. And
you were by yourself. They took. Oh, you mean you stayed with them as they're going?
And then I told them, so just go. I said, I can't get. I'll be fine. It's just gonna take me longer. And man, I couldn't drink nothing for all that way out. I was just. I pushed it. That's the hardest I ever had to push myself. But I made it out, and that night went and got some drugs and got it in me, and like.
Because you have to take that to get over that, huh?
Yeah.
You ain't getting over Giardia naturally?
No, you got to get the medicine.
Really?
That's prescribed.
So I wonder if people would die from that back a long time ago.
I don't know what would happen, because maybe eventually your body would. I don't know. I was dehydrated totally. I couldn't.
Probably worse than you're saying right now. That
I couldn't hold nothing in. Yeah.
Literally couldn't.
Nothing.
For how many days?
It started that one night, all that next day, and then the next day walking out all that distance. So.
Because then you went to. Got the
medicine.
Yeah.
So now I definitely always filter my water.
Always, no matter what. Now.
Yeah.
Never again.
No.
What do you like to? What's your favorite setup to use? I'm sure they all work, but what brand do you like?
What I do now is, to me, is the easiest thing, and it carries a good amount of water. It's 2 big bags, gallon bags.
Okay.
And it just
like thick.
Yeah, just a neoprene.
Okay.
Thick. You see through plastic,
and
it's a gravity fed, and it has a rubber hose going and a little filter in the middle. It's real lightweight, so you just fill up one bag, put it in a tree, and it just filters through, and so you have a gallon of water.
Okay.
So it's really handy.
How long does it take to do that gallon of water?
Oh, under 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's your kind of favorite.
Yeah.
Because once you drink it, then you just curl that back up and stick it in your bag.
Yep.
Because I tried the straw things. I'm like, you about suck your brains out trying to get something out of it.
I don't like the straw things. The battery operated ones, you got to carry around batteries.
Which is weight.
The pump. You get tired of pumping. So I just like my gravity fed one.
Do you know what brand by any chance that is?
Or
can you just get it on Amazon, or is it like?
Yeah, I got it off Amazon.
You did.
Yeah.
Gravity fed? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess we kind of somehow we got off. Maybe we were done with the conversation, but back to Brother Beckett. So he shot that bear. I don't think we finished that story. You said you shoot and it died.
Okay, we got up there and we took our pictures. I skinned it out, and the tide came back in, and I got on the. At that time, we had sat phones, and the inReach wasn't out yet.
Okay.
And so I called the. We were only probably 8 miles from the village we were at, and I called the guy up where we were staying, and he sent out his grandson in a boat, and he come picked us up at night, picked us up right at dark, and loaded us up and took us back over to our side because we couldn't get back over that night.
How big was that bear?
That bear was only it was probably right at 9 foot.
Wow.
It wasn't a true monster.
Yeah.
I mean, them are big bears.
Right.
But, it was like a gift bear, and it was the last, getting close to the end of the season.
But still, I mean.
He was ecstatic.
That didn't even bother him.
No.
Yeah.
He got the trophy of his life.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's your dream your whole life.
That's what you want people. That's the kind of people you want to hunt with.
Yes.
I've hunted with people who it's their third or fourth one, and it's no big deal.
Why do you even do that, though?
They still get somewhat of a thrill out of it.
Because they're stacking them, kind of?
Yeah, they're just, they do like it, or they wouldn't come back and do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, ducks.
Yeah, once you kill a mallard, they're all the same, right?
No, it's not.
You hear that buzz, man. It gives it a high adrenaline. Yeah, there's some guys that I think Lynn Stinson, Trouse's sister or wife's cousin or something.
Yeah.
He has multiples of everything, but the red deer, I think.
Red stag,
you have like 10 of them. It's like, why?
Shoot 10 I guess that's what does it for him.
Yeah. So
I could hunt mule deer the rest of my life
and just keep
because there's always one going to be bigger out there.
Yeah, that's true. Just like fishing, bass fishing.
Yeah.
I caught a 6-pounder. I want to catch an 8-pounder now.
Your next goal in life.
Yeah.
It's always what pushes you. If you want something, you're just gonna push you.
And then to go back a different way though, in all reality, in all of that, it's the experience. It's the journey.
It is.
That's what we always say. It's like that. You said something I thought would be a good point. We can end here or not keep going, but the one thing me and Travis and Thomas talk about all the time is I focus. The older I get, the more I try to make myself get out of the zone you are when you're younger and just enjoy every single moment. Well, because it all seems like a dream when it's happening. It goes so fast.
It does.
Then you look back and be like, just sitting on the tailgate drinking those Mountain Dews was amazing.
Yeah.
Just being there in that moment. Yeah. I would go back to that right now. It's not about, I just dropped that Drake Mallard at 15 yards. That's an amazing memory capture, but the whole process.
It's the process. Even now, getting the decoys ready, getting the weight set up, getting ready the night before, everything you're going to need, walking out, because we hunt on public land.
Yeah.
You're always walking in.
Yep.
And it's usually a rush. You're just, it seems like, I got to get there for somebody else.
Yep.
And, but the whole thing's fun. Setting up, I love getting my decoys done and sitting there for the 30 minutes before it gets daylight.
Yep. And
That's fun.
Yeah, it is.
To listen to the noises, hanging out.
Yep.
The whole thing's fun.
It is. Yeah. And just I don't know, nothing beats it. Makes me ready. We're getting close.
We are. We're on.
I can't believe it. What Jack say?
100 days off?
No, Jack's. What did he say the other day? I thought a couple days ago told me 99. I thought he said. So we're 95. 90.
And what's crazy is starting in 2 weeks. Well, we got another week of camping, which I'm loving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be working for 2 weeks. I go to Alaska for a mountain goat.
Okay. And now is that the hardest hunting? Because you said the rams. You said the sheep hunts aren't super high, but I guess so. It's hard because of angles and rock.
The goats seem to live on the nastiest place in the mountain. But I've been hunting them out of Seward, Alaska.
Okay.
And we actually drive out there and get on a boat. They taxi us around like an hour out of Seward. And we get off on a little rubber raft and we go to the shore, row our way in the shore. So you got to pick a day where the surf ain't bad. So you tie everything up, hang it in trees, and right from the beach, I mean, you're going up straight up. But you only climb maybe 1,500 to 2,000 feet, and you get up in the alpine down there. So once you get that first initial climb out of the way, it's no trees. It's just nice, beautiful green. It's an enjoyable hunt.
Sounds like, and so that's what you're doing next after this?
Yeah, my first hunt will be
before deer season, archery.
Yes, I'm gonna miss archery deer season.
Oh, you are? Oh, you are? I thought you said you were going.
No, I can't. I'm gonna do that. I'm coming home. Olivia drew an antelope tag.
Oh, okay.
I gotta do her. So I'm giving up a sheep hunt to come back to do Olivia's antelope tag. I'll work for a couple of weeks, so I might get that's the only spot I can possibly do archery this year is after her antelope for like a week.
Okay. Because you just don't know what you're gonna draw, so you kind of have some plans, and then we drew, so this is what we're doing now.
And I go back and do a moose in Alaska.
Okay, wait. So you're doing goat, come back Olivia's.
Do antelope.
For antelope. Is that California?
Yeah.
Wow.
She drew antelope. Yeah, she got lucky.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to stay tuned in for that one. Is that a share hunt?
No, she drew it.
That's a draw.
And that's random.
And do they have good size antelope over there?
Yeah, you can get, we're looking for a 14-inch goat. Yeah,
I mean, the fact that she drew one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is nuts.
My dad drew one also. And they didn't even party? He's max points 22 years.
Holy moly. And she drew in what?
It was 6. She had 6 points.
Still, yeah. That's cool. That's cool, the fact that it's California.
Oh, it is. And then we drew 3 X-zone tags, which for California is good tags. So I got 3 deer hunts to do after I get home from the
busy.
I'm busy. And the week that ends, then we got duck season starting up. So
yep. Perfect.
Season's planned out.
That's like, I like it, man.
So from, starting in August all the way to February, it's fun times.
Yeah.
And between every hunt, I'm working.
You're right.
Back to construction.
Well, I don't know how you feel about it, but like Sarah, I know how Sarah feels about it. She's like, you just worked a duck hunt. I'm like, you know what? You're right. That's what it is.
Hey, if we just saved all of our money until we retired, we're too old to do anything.
And then what?
Richard Burns, our good buddy.
Yeah.
He's had fun.
Yes.
But I'm just using him as an example. He's a year and a half away from retiring, and he drops dead of a heart attack last week.
Yeah. So
you
live now.
You never live while you got it.
And like you said, he did. But it's like that's my theory. I know some people, and I've talked about this on the podcast on different, like even financial things. It's like there's a borderline to where, and I'll just say this, like a lot of people like Dave Ramsey. That's great, and he's very smart, very successful, a lot more than I am.
Yeah.
So what do I know, right? But at the same time, just because someone's successful doesn't mean that I have to emulate that for my life too. Right. Because me and Sarah have talked about this. Actually, I'm kind of getting this little sidetracked here, but I seen a little, those little books. They're little thick, short ones, and people draw pictures on a picture each page, and you thumb through it, and it has a movement.
Yeah.
I seen this the other day. Someone put it, and it was a good reminder, but it was almost depressing. And what it was is this little boy, he was chasing a balloon, and then he was growing, he's getting older in this, and again, it's just hand-drawn pencil, and they're flipping through it, and he's chasing this balloon, and then it turns into a dollar bill, then like $50 bills. He's growing up, he's getting older, he's chasing it, now he's getting older, and now he's grabbing the money, and he's putting it in his hands, and he gets to the end. I was telling Jake about it. He gets in, there's a cliff, and it says the end, and he finally gets all the money, and then what?
He's falling off.
And it's over. His life's over. So it's like, why not be moderate and prepare for the future?
Be responsible. Live.
Prepare for the future, but live right now.
Yeah.
I don't.
100%.
I don't know. I talked to Barney about, your niece getting married, moving out of state, and Barney, not putting him above anybody else, but he did. I feel like he did a ton with his kids.
Yeah, he did.
spend a ton of time. And he said he still wishes he would have spent more time. So I'm like, I cannot do enough with my kids. And it's really challenged me to
absolutely
try to do more with them,
Like Johnny.
Yeah. Do you wish you would have didn't?
I didn't do near enough with him. But he started, and college is awesome. It's good for kids. He started at 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
So when I was going guiding, most times, Jack, he'll be going with me because he has no interest in going to college.
Yeah.
Johnny was always in college and never could go. And it got in the way of a lot of hunting trips. He's hit his point now. He's successful, and he reached where he wanted to be.
Right.
But I wish I could have did more with him.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, too, I could have, but, I wasn't financially able. At the times he could have went.
You're trying to make a living.
Yeah. So you just do everything you can, even more than you can, and you're not going to regret it.
No. No, you definitely are never going to regret it.
I
think you're always going to regret you didn't do enough.
Look at Olivia. She goes everywhere with me.
Yeah.
I don't go hunting without Olivia.
Yeah.
And she loves it.
Yeah. And I bet you, no matter how much you do, I still think you're going to feel like I could have done more.
Oh, yeah. When Johnny got married, this is funny, but when he got married and I went home that night and I went and sat on his bed and I started getting tears just rolling down my face, It's like, man, he's never going to be here again. Anything that we could have done alone, it's never going to happen again.
Yeah.
And, it will later on in life.
Yeah.
When he gets things figured out. And,
yeah. And to be honest with you, I can look back and see that with me and my dad. Like, my dad had a lot of things that's just, my dad's kind of like, that's what he wants to do. And that's what's hard for me because I can find myself being the same way. Like, Vivian's not really that kind of person. So what can I do with Vivian? And it doesn't have to be outdoors.
No, I don't.
But she loves to fish. So I'm like, I got to make this a priority because she's already 13 and it's like blows my mind. I can't imagine how you feel with your daughters and your son. It's like, my goodness. But it's like, I want to be the kind of dad, and again, I'm not saying my dad's not, but I want to be the kind of dad that I'll just do whatever as long as it is to be with them. Right. I don't want to force them. But my dad, it does come back around, Johnny, because I think there is a time you just said it. Let him give time to figure things out because he's trying to, now he's got a wife and he's going to have kids soon. He's got to provide.
Yeah.
But you know what? And he loves you just as much as he ever did.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe it might not be till his 30s where he's like, Dad, you want to go hunting this year?
I want to be there when he's ready. I want to be ready.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it'll come back.
Oh, 100% will.
Yeah.
Because it was a long time before we started, my dad started like, not that we weren't, it has nothing to do with like,
no, I know exactly
hanging out. It's just, he would call me, if you want to do this, I can't, Dad. Like, I can't afford it. Yeah. So, yeah, it's
That's
life.
Another thing, too. When we get to the age where we can start doing stuff with our dads again, do all you can.
Yeah.
Because there comes a quick age period with your dads. From you start seeing when they're about 65, they're going to start going downhill. I see it so much with my dad. There's so many things that we always have wanted to do that we never did. Mostly because of money. Because you didn't think you could afford it. But now if we had the money, we couldn't do things.
Well, see, that's what Jared said that. He goes, I'm not trying to tell you to be financially stupid. But he said, you're never going to feel like you can fully afford it, but try to make yourself. And it don't have to be nothing crazy. I told Sarah the other day, I go, you know what? We think we got to do this big, extravagant trip because sometimes we get caught up looking what other people are doing. It's like, I'm not them. I can't afford, I can't do some of those things, but I could still.
You know what I regret the most about guiding, which I've absolutely loved, is more than anything, it took away from my dad's experiences. It's guiding is always during. That's the reason the last couple of years I've cut back. I only do a little bit. It takes away from your own personal hunting, and you don't have the time. I don't go hunting for myself no more except duck hunting, but because now it's my kids. I take my kids out.
Yeah.
Before, we used to go to Wyoming, go buy over-the-counter tags, and go deer hunting. We did that for like 5 or 6 years in a row. Me and my dad, my brother, and some friends. Then we started going to Arizona bow hunting. We did that for 5 or 6 years in a row. Since I started guiding, we went on one out-of-state hunting trip in the last 13, 14 years.
And you used to do all the time.
And now I look at it and I regret it. Now my dad is we're gonna have to pick and choose the hunts we can go on now.
Yeah.
We can't just go do anything.
You can still do it. You gotta step.
Yep.
See, I feel that way with my dad because all I did is grow up. No, I didn't mean like that. It sounds bad. All I did. What we did growing up was elk hunt.
Right.
And I did like it. And it was a rush. And we've had some amazing trips, amazing stories. Just we could tell stories for hours. But it wasn't my number one thing that I like to do. Like he likes it. My dad's
he loves
elk
it.
freak. Like that's everything to him.
Talking with him yesterday,
That's all he cares about.
Crazy about.
Yeah, and that's awesome because that's how I feel about what I do. Right?
Yeah.
So everyone's different, but I've always wanted to go to Alaska. My dad used to live there. Tom's has never been. So next year we're going to Alaska to shoot caribou, and I wish I would have done it sooner. But I'm so glad I'm doing it, and I'm really glad that I get to experience that with him for the first time.
It's gonna be a trip of a lifetime.
He's excited out of his mind.
You know what we need to do? We need to do a podcast. I'll fix up my pack of how I would go.
Okay.
How I would go to how I go every time.
Okay.
And come over.
That'd be awesome.
You guys have your stuff, kind of what you're gonna be taking, and I'll show you what you need, what you got to have.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Before you go.
Okay. That'd almost be maybe a video for the channel, even maybe.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really good, or we could do something separate. But I would love that.
Because you fine tune after doing it this long. You know what you have to have and what you don't really need.
It's the same way with duck hunting.
Yeah.
There's these guys that I see take so much. I'm like, man. You know what? But that takes years of experience.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that because I would love that because I already know how it is. Like same thing was in the military. It's like you pack these certain things when you're going on whatever. You cannot learn unless someone teaches you by experience.
We went. This is long before when I was young. We went to Wyoming hunting, and I packed up my bag. It was a day pack, mind you. We was going out for the day, and I put so much stuff in my pack. I made it to the top of one hill, and I was done. I was 21 years old. You know, I was like, I can't go no farther. My brother called me on the radio, said, "Hey, get over here! I got 2 nice bucks." And I didn't have the energy because I had too much stupid stuff in my pack that none of it which I needed. But I don't. It's just inexperience. You know?
Right.
I might need this. I might need this.
Yeah, which is good that you plan. Yeah. There's a way you can do it.
You can way over plan.
Yeah.
Another story. I took a guy, Wyoming, and I don't remember the guy's name, so it doesn't matter. But we went up for one day, and it was before noon. It had been raining. The trails were a little slippery. He's on horseback. And we got up there, and we got off the horses, got light. He started walking around. Noticed he started slipping. And for some reason, the fear came in his mind. He was from back east. He'd never been on a mountain in his life. Mm-hmm. He couldn't, for some reason, he couldn't handle it. He said, I got to get out of here. He says, like, we're going to get injured and get hurt. I said, no, this is fine. We do this every day. No, we got to go.
Wow.
And so he went. I couldn't get him back on the horse, and we started going down the seal. I was leading the horses, and he was behind me, and I got too far ahead of him, just leading the horses, and he started hollering, "Wait! Don't leave! Don't leave!" And I looked back, and he's walking down backwards on hands and knees, crawling down this mountain, and I just led the horses down.
How steep was it?
It was just steep enough where the horses couldn't stand still. They start sliding because it's muddy. But it's not steep, and it didn't have nowhere to go. It slowly flattened out, you know. But we got to the bottom. I said, "Let me take your backpack and put it on the horse." He said, "Oh no." I said, "You won't have no weight." I said, "Well, I'll carry it." He said, "No, we get separated. So I have all my survival gear in here." And so, you know, in his mind, he'd prepared for it.
Yeah.
But he wasn't prepared. He couldn't live 10 minutes by himself.
No kidding.
Yeah. So it's all to do with experience.
Yeah.
He'd never been in that kind of situation in his life. He thought he'd watched videos. He thought he could do it. We went back to camp, got back like 1 o'clock. He got in his truck and left. So he gave up his $7,000 and left because he checked out.
Well, it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
Huh.
You meet all types.
I bet. Well, yeah, I bet you do. Yeah. The only reference I can have to that is military. Because you were all wearing the same thing, so we all look the same. All our heads are shaved.
Yeah.
You're wearing the same uniform. You think we're the same. You ain't the same.
No.
You go out and get a weekend pass in the military, and guys come out in solid black gothic clothes.
Really?
The next guy's in cowboy boots and a hat, and you're like, what
Where
in the world?
did this come from?
Yeah, I didn't even, know.
Yeah.
So I know what you're saying is you just don't know. But here's the thing: when people get put under pressure, the true thing comes out.
Most definitely.
So,
And
that's the place it's going to happen.
Oh, without a doubt. It'll push you to you get in any aspect of life. You hit that high pressure moment, you know what the true person is.
Yeah. You know yourself.
I've told my kids that in personal things. I said that when they hit bad spots in their lives, I said, this is what the test in life.
Yep.
I says,
how you
handle yourself now and show people how you handle yourself. I said, that's the true you.
It is. Yeah, because I'm not going to use that reference, but when stuff happens and people react however it is, emotional, yell, scream, whatever, however they react, and they always say, that's not me. I'm actually that is you.
Yep.
And I've done so many stupid things, and how I reacted, I'm like, you want to think, that's not normally me. It's like, well, you're never under that boiling point.
Yeah.
So that actually is what you are. You just need to learn how to contain it.
Yeah.
And that's...
go to personal lives, and for people who hasn't had real problems, everybody's had money problems.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And so you think that's, oh my God, this is the most stressful thing you could ever go through in your life.
Mm-hmm.
But close people that we're associated with actually went through problems, marriage problems and stuff. They could care less about money problems.
Right.
That means nothing.
No.
So it's whatever you've been through.
It is. Totally. But yeah, well, man, thanks for coming on. It's awesome. I can't believe we're over an hour.
Oh, wow.
It goes fast. Part of the reason, guys, I feel like it's overcast right now, so that's making it very nice.
Yeah.
But just the view and we have nothing else to do. Isn't it amazing how you can just slow life down up here?
It is.
It makes you want to just live up here and try to get out of the rat race.
What's crazy is, I know I was the same way when I was kids, but my kids, every morning they wake up, what can we do? I just want to sit here and drink tea and do nothing.
Yep. And you know what, folks? And those of you listening from the South, yes, we're talking about sweet tea. No, everybody still thinks that's hilarious. They're like I don't know if you noticed that too. If you talk about drinking sweet tea around other people, sweet tea.
That's back east.
Yeah, that's a back east or a down south thing. Oh no, how in the world did that stem? Is it because of people that used to live down and moved out here?
All our family,
forefathers,
all my family on both sides come from Oklahoma and
so that's probably
Texas,
why.
So that's where they brought it from, I guess.
Because it's all of our friends, all of us, that's what we drink, and you ain't going nowhere to find sweet tea around here.
No restaurants have
nothing. But that's why I love going back east or down south. You're like, everywhere's got sweet tea. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's what we do. That's what we like to do up here. Everybody's got dirt bikes, and I don't actually have one this year, but we're out in tents, trailers. I guess people call it dry camping. Got a creek by us. That's how we get our water. And I'm at the age now, too. I'm the same way. It's like, relax, talk, hang out. So podcast is a great place to do it. But thanks for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome.
That was enjoyable.
I got like 100 stories we could tell. It'd be fun sometime. But
maybe you're gonna be here all week. I might grab you again.
I'll try to remember 5 good stories.
There you go. We'll do it again because the reason I like doing up here is because there's so many of us up here and it's just so convenient because we're gonna sit around the table anyways and talk.
Oh yeah.
So why not come over here and hit record?
Yep.
So thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'm glad you came on, and check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Google Play, and also we have the MVM Show on YouTube. Go on there. We're getting close to 1,000 subs on that channel. That's specific. If you want to watch hunting and stuff like that, you can go to our other YouTube channel, Mid Valley Mercenaries, and see us on there. And duck season's getting close, so been putting out some videos. Actually, I just did some duck identification.
Yeah,
I got 2 more to put out, and I was surprised how many people liked it. It was more on duck sounds and what they make. But anyways, check that out, and thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you on the next one.